Grand Rising. I don't know what's going on my TikTok feed, but it seems to be a 2018 Church Mitchell marathon going on. I've just been getting all these videos just popping up over and over again with him just running his mouth. Now, something, it sounds, these people must be getting very, very desperate because, the truth doesn't need to be shoved down people's throats. If what you're seeing is true, you don't need to put it down every person's throat on and on and on and on again. If what you're saying is true. Now, if it's a bunch of lies and you need people to really act, you need to make it seem like as if somehow it's really, really, important or famous or people really want it, then okay. But, like, if it's something that people want and it's something that people believe, they will go and search for it. Now, this is something that I wanted to share because, he's going here talking about how he's a conservative. So a black conservative is pretty much a coon. I said a black conservative is a black person they put out there to say the things that white people have always wanted to say, or well, they've already been saying. It's not like these people haven't been telling us that we're nothing, that slavery's been a long time ago. Get over it. You weren't a slave. There's no such thing as slavery. You just pull yourselves by your bootstrap. We've heard all the same things from white people. So just to have a black person say the same thing is not going to change how we feel about it. So let me play a little bit of this clip because it's pretty funny because these guys are really pushing this whole thing about, not being happy when you see your enemies fall. The Most High, and say that the Bible doesn't say anything like that, which is an absolute lie. The Bible does talk about actually having a good time when you see your enemies fall. So again, this is what happens when you just run your mouth and you don't actually show scripture otherwise. Hold on. I'm going to play a little bit of this guy's video.
That whatever you believe, like today, I want to say to you that whatever you believe in, or even if you disagree with somebody, the scriptures give us no license to take pleasure or delight in the murder of another human being, not even your own enemies. For the scripture.
Now, you guys have been taking, you guys have been having a great old time when our people got shot down. In fact, you guys would have a picnic. You guys would have pick a nigga and pretty much go ahead and hang us and burn us and mutilate us, and you take your whole family there, and there's just plenty of pictures on the internet where you have little kids that are looking at our people being hung and strung up, and they're sitting there smiling and laughing and having a good old time and pointing at him, and he's burned in the ground, and they're just sitting there looking, laughing, and having a good old time when they've been lynching our people. So Trayvon Martin gets shot, and you get pictures of people with Skittles and soda and red spots on their, and laughing and making jokes out of all these things. When you start to see people like, George Floyd getting killed on camera and everything else, and people are just, having a good old time and saying that he's this, he's that, he's a thug, he doesn't deserve to be mourned, whatever else. This is the stuff that you guys have been doing this whole time, but all of a sudden now, this is all wrong. But hold on, let's see what the scripture says. So there's no scripture in here that talks about, like, pretty much, just watching what happens to your enemies. And what's the Most High going to do when he sees you guys actually having to start pay for the things you guys have done? Proverbs 1:25. But ye have set at naught all my counsel, and would none of my reproof. I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. So the Most High said he's going to laugh at your calamity. When the things are happening to you, the Most High will be laughing. I will mock when your fear cometh. So when fear comes upon you, the Most High will be mocking you. When your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but shall not find me. So again, this Most High, that that when you decide you want to come and actually listen to him, he's not going to hear you, but you go make it sound like Jesus wants you guys to come no matter what, anytime, come as you are, and he'll always be there for you. Again, nothing but lies. Let me play a little bit more of the video.
Teaches us that we should not glory in the calamity of other human beings. And what we have seen on this week is the full display of just evil and the full display of ignorance and ungodliness Of people who even call themselves Christians that celebrate the murder of other people.
You Christians, you don't know your own history because you've been celebrating and having a great old time at the murder of my people. In fact, you would be killing them for sport. You would be killing them, pretty much rape, rob, murder, stealing for sport, raping our women in front of us, killing our children in front of us, buck breaking, all those sort of things. You'd be doing all that stuff in front of us, and you were having a good old time with it. And I don't want to hear that's old Christians. That's your Christians too. As you kept seeing our people get shot down over and over again, Crowd Rittenhouse and having a great old time and bringing him in and pumping him up. So you can only say the kind of thing if you don't look at your history. But put a black face on
That
it.
even if my enemies died, I have enough character to not celebrate the death of my enemies.
Character, man.
And that some of us should just get off of social media because what we're doing is making our ignorance palpable.
Fair use.
And this week I've seen the ugliness of our race, the human race. And if there's ever a time
Fair use.
for us to lean into the words of God, we should lean into what God said during the days of Solomon after he built that temple. We should lean into these words because I'm telling you, even as a conservative, hear me, that policy is not going to fix this nation.
So now we know that old boy's a conservative. So he went to Israel. Israel told him he should pray. He should come over here and start to teach. He's a conservative. And he doesn't care about black Hebrew Israelites. He doesn't care if Jesus, he says Jesus is not black. He doesn't have a black church. So pretty much he just sounds just like the conservative white Christians, but with a black face. Nothing new. But let's go over some more scripture about, this whole thing about God not, telling us to pretty much enjoy or be happy when our enemies fall. Jeremiah 30:16. Therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity. And they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. Now, for I will restore health unto thee, and I will heal thee, talking about us, his people, of thy wounds, saith the Most High. Because they called thee an outcast, saying, this is Zion, whom no man seeketh after. See, you guys were gloating when we were at the bottom. You must have forgotten that part. You were gloating when, oh, this is Zion? These people ain't nobody. So when we were at the bottom, you had no problem gloating over us. But see, apparently you must have forgotten that history. Again, this is why you don't say anything about scripture. You just run your mouth and say, this is just ridiculous. I can't believe people are doing this. But again, what did you guys say? This is Zion, whom no man seeketh after. Where's your God? Well, now he's here. And now he's turning everything against you. And now you got a problem. See, the big problem is you don't have these kind of scriptures, this kind of understanding. Revelation 6 and 8 is talking about what happened when you came over here to the fourth part. And I looked, and behold, a horse. And his name that sat on him was Death. And hell followed with him. And power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth, to kill with sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. That was what you guys did when you came over here in 1492. And you guys had dogs of the conquest, where you guys were actually, cutting our babies in pieces and feed them to your dogs, and throwing our babies up in the air and trying to cut them in half, and in one swipe and things like that, acting like this was a game. This is what your people have done. Gloating, laughing, having a good old time when you were given, the rain. But if you go down Revelation 6 and 10, let's see, Revelation 6 and 10, and they cried, all the people that you guys killed when you guys got over here, and they cried with a loud voice, saying, how long, O Lord, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? So the Most High, our people are asking for vengeance. We're not asking for equality. We're asking for vengeance. We are asking, so people want to keep saying, oh, wait, vengeance is mine. You're right. That's what we're asking the Most High for vengeance. And what does he say? He say, no, don't worry about that. Just forgive. No, he says, and white robes were given unto them, every one of them. And it was said unto them, they should rest for yet a little season, until the fellow servants also and their brethren that thou should be killed as they were should be fulfilled. So we're just waiting for that number. And then it is a wrap. And there's not going to be any more laughter at what happened to the Most High's people. Shalom.